I have played the new Risk of Rain 2 DLC Hallowed Concepts. And for those of you who didn't know this was a thing, Risk of Rain 2 announced a new DLC and it's called Hallowed Concepts. This DLC centers around New Kahana and looks to add a bunch of new stuff. From what has been announced so far, there are new stages, new bosses, new enemies, and assumedly a bunch more. And I have already played it. Similar to the Hallowed Collective DLC, Gearbox flew a bunch of content creators and modders out to their headquarters to playtest. Only this time, they invited me. If you haven't seen the vlog of that trip, go check it out, but I wanted to make this follow-up video talking about the DLC and my thoughts on it as a whole. It has been a rocky last few years for Risk of Rain and Gearbox, with Seekers of the Storm being an impossibly bad launch in 2023. Over the last couple years, they made a roadmap and fixed a lot of the stuff that went wrong, and remade a lot of that DLC based on feedback. Then, they released Hallowed Collective, which all things considered went pretty well and was well liked by the community. So now we sit here today, with one big miss of a DLC, and one seemingly hit of a DLC. The Hallowed Concepts DLC, I think truly will tell us how Risk of Rain will continue as a franchise. Keep in mind, the build that I played was just a development build, so some of the stuff that I played won't ever make it to you all. At least I hope not. And I say that for two reasons. One, some of it was not fun. There were some aspects that added things to the game that just felt bad and needed either tweaking or complete overhauls. And two, the reason they flew everyone out there was to get feedback. So I would sure hope they would want to take that feedback and put it into action. And good news, they already have. They sent us a list of changes and a new build to continue testing on. And this build fixed a lot of those early issues with some tweaks and some full overhauls. As of writing this today on April 22nd, there is no DLC launch date announced. And I'm gonna be so honest with you all. Even if they did tell me what the release date was, I forgot. People, as well as I, are speculating near Halloween because it's kind of a spooky theme, but regardless, they have a lot of time to add stuff, remove stuff, and change stuff. So my opinions today are just that, opinions of what I have played so far. And those opinions are pretty good. At the moment, this feels similarly positive to Hallowed Collective. There are some things I really like, a few things I absolutely love, and a couple of things that are very meh to me. But from what I've played so far, there really isn't anything I hate. There are a few additions I think are super creative and interesting, and I think even the stuff I played during their first build has some very cool ideas, just some mediocre execution. But I will say, they have already taken direct feedback from that creator summit. Some of the biggest concerns have already been dealt with, and the second go has a lot of issues fixed. All in all, I do think this DLC is going to be a very positive one. I think the things they are adding are fun, they make sense, and I will look forward to interacting with a lot of the things they're adding in. My big hope for this DLC is simple. Seekers of the Storm and Hallowed Collective were both fine in terms of content. We got new survivors, new enemies, new items, new stages, and new final bosses. However, I almost never choose to interact with any of it. I have no interest in fighting False Sun, I don't really care to go fight Soulless Wing or Soulless Heart, and even the Halcyonite Shrine on Stage 1, which I do every run, feels more like an obligation rather than something I want to do, because who's gonna turn down 3 free items? Now compare all of that with the Survivors of the Void DLC. The implementation of Void Seeds is fantastic. I don't need to go through another portal and go through 3 stages that I can't find in a normal run, and I don't have to fight another boss before the actual final boss of the game. Or in Hallowed Collective's sake, 2 final bosses before the final boss of the game. The content in the Void DLC fits perfectly into the run I'm already on. Voidling kinda sucks as a fight, but it's also a really fun thing to go beat up if you have a god build, and if you lose, it doesn't really matter, because you already beat Mithrix and won the run. In terms of this critique, I think Hallowed Concepts is starting in the right direction. From here, only time will tell what content we get on release day. I think Risk of Rain is going in the right direction. For now. That being said, what happens after this DLC? Let's say it goes really well. Do they make another? Is this the last one? Do they fix bugs? Do they make Risk of Rain 3? I think those are the 4 options that Gearbox currently has. They could say this is the last DLC they're going to make, and let the modding scene be the only source of new content going forwards. I think that's a bad idea, not only for the player base, but also for the corporate investors who so badly want money yet understand nothing about the game they're investing into. They could continue this path forever, DLC after DLC until the game dies out. And this is fine, I guess, but at the pace we're currently going with DLCs, Risk of Rain 2 will become a sort of bloated, chaotic mess after 4 or 5 more of these. If they're going to make more DLCs, I urge them to take your time and truly add things that will only enhance the current game, not just add lots of stuff for $15. Another option is they could go back and fix all the bugs that Seekers brought, and delay all future work. This is ideal for the player base, but we all know that's not where the money is, so it'll never happen. But we can dream, I guess. Or they could make a whole new Risk of Rain 3, or Risk of Rain 6, as that one guy on Instagram wants. I also see this as a solid possibility, and maybe the best option. But it has to be done right. Risk of Rain 1 turned into Risk of Rain 2. A completely different and significantly upgraded game. If they made a third game, they would have to give me a reason to buy it. You can't make a 4-dimensional video game, so I'm not entirely sure what would be different if they were to go this route. But if they did, there better be crossplay. If I see a Risk of Rain 3 and I still can't play with my friends on console, I'm going to the moon in real life and I'm killing Mithrix, and then our moon will explode and we will all die. The future of Risk of Rain is very up in the air. Lots of trust was lost from Seekers of the Storm, and some of that was gained back with Hallowed Collective, but work still needs to be done. Do not take this video as a should you buy the DLC video. The DLC is not released, nor is it finished, but I'm enjoying what I played so far, and I think, assuming minimal bugs upon launch, this will be a success. I would love to tell you all more about it, but things, of course, could change, and I'm stuck under NDA. And I'm not sitting here about to get sued by Gearbox. But let me know what you think of the DLC announcement so far, and let me know what kind of things you want to see in it. And of course, stay tuned here for any other updates, as well as a should you buy video after it releases. I'll say it again, I'm not exactly sure what the future of Risk of Rain looks like, but at the moment, at least for this next DLC, it's looking pretty positive. I just hope it's not a bunch of hollow concepts.